So I will call the meeting to order, and would like to go around the room and on TV to have people introduce themselves. So, Melissa, why don't you start?
Sure. So my name is Melissa Youngbauer, and I am the ADRC supervisor.
I'm Sammy Becker, and I'm the administrative specialist at the ADRC.
And Lois, you need to kind of push your little button. Yeah, he's IT. He isn't part of our committee.
All right. I'm
He's a good
Lois
guy, though.
Taylor. I pushed the button. I know that now.
Yep.
I'm from Trempealeau.
Dora Jean Blaha from Independence, and I'm on the ADRC Advisory Board.
I'm Mary Beck from Whitehall.
Beth Killian from Arcadia.
Kevin Asm, also from Arcadia, and I also represent District 7 on the county board, as well as the vice chair of the Board of Health.
My name's Omar Sharif. Oh, no, that's my other, that's my other persona. I'll tell you about that someday. No, I'm Alan Robertson. I'm from Blair.
I'm Penny Paulson. I'm a community health worker, and my office is over at the ADRC.
I am Ashley Brecky, and I am the nutrition and transportation director.
We have two faces on the television. I recognize Jeannie Nutter.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Jeannie Nutter. I live in the Strum area, and I'm also a county board supervisor for District 15. And my hair looks out of control right now.
And I'm Ola Stallings, and I'm out of Ettrick, and I'm a newbie, and welcome. Hey, good morning.
Hey, yay!
Morning. So welcome to you and to Lois.
I have a quick question. So is our advisory committee all full? We're all 100%?
We are not, unfortunately.
Oh.
We are not. So,
Okay.
yeah. Should we
That's okay, I was just curious.
Yeah, no. Should we I loved last night at the Human Services Board meeting where the new members just took a minute or two and told them about kind of their background and experience, anything they'd want to share. I think that would be nice. And then I can give an update too. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. Lois, since you're in the room, would you like to begin? Just thinking what to say.
Okay, where to start? I retired as a registered nurse 7 years ago. I was in a motor vehicle accident, which has changed my perspective a lot about health care. I have been on the village board for 10 years, but decided 10 years was enough, so I didn't run again. I have been on with Dora Jean and a few other people on the Senior Advisory Committee years back, and I don't know when I was on, but I was chairman of the district for the Senior Advisory Committee. Don't know how many years that was, but it was a great experience. And I've also done a TV show. Some people may have seen that, Backyard Wellness, on TCC TV 18. Well, it's changed its name. And I haven't done that show for a couple years. So now I'm just doing things in solar energy, raising the R factor in my windows with sewing projects, being involved in the community, doing alternative homeopathic medicine for myself, recovered from a heart attack, and also maintaining myself independently. I guess that's in a nutshell about.
We're so happy you're here after all of that.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. Iola?
Hi, I'm Iola Stallings. I am fairly new to Wisconsin. I've only been here about 10 years. Came here because of grandkids. Work for Mayo since I've been here. Retired last year from Mayo. I love retirement. I am industrial hemp grower. So I want to talk to the lady about the holistic stuff because we got a lot of communication to do. And basically, my career was initially started out in telecommunications. I worked for AT&T for, I don't want to talk about how long, out of Atlanta. That's where I'm from. And happy to be in Wisconsin because you know what? I love the snow. And I didn't realize how much I love the snow until I got here because it's hot as I just got back from Atlanta a day, 24 hours ago, basically. It was 74 degrees, y'all, in December. I don't miss that. Glad to be here. Thank you for allowing me in.
Well, welcome to both new members.
Yes, good to have you here. As of this morning, we have no snow here in Whitehall, but I think just south of us, and they get like 5 inches in Galesville, and yeah. It's
wow.
amazing, yeah. Yeah, it's just pretty incredible.
Across got quite a bit too.
Right, yep. So we're in kind of a warm zone here, I guess.
Yeah.
It's very windy today, but it's in the 30s, so it's just different. Okay, well, thanks, everybody. Someday maybe we'll have a chance to find out more about each other, too. A lot of us aren't new anymore, so we didn't have an opportunity to share our stories, but that would take a while. So we have an agenda in front of us.
Excuse me. Maybe we could do that in January, Scott. We could, start the new year off with getting to know each other.
Except we won't be here till February, so.
Oh, okay. Well, we can do it in February. I think we meet on my birthday, so that'll be fun.
Oh. Boy. Ashley, take note. We need to change the agenda a little bit. I'd like to move number 11. Penny has to go over to Blair to help out with, she's got a presentation at the meal today, and so we'd like to move Penny up to right after adopting the minutes. So 11's going to move to 6. So with that change, I'd entertain a motion to adopt our agenda.
Killian would adopt the agenda with that minor change.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to adopt the agenda. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Thank you. The minutes of the meeting were sent out. I think anybody that had internet anyway, Sammy sent them out early, so we had a chance to look through them. Any questions about the minutes?
Mr. Chairman, I would move adoption of those minutes.
Mr. Chair.
Second.
Okay, and Killian has just a couple little minor corrections that I talked to Sammy about. I
letters.
believe it's on the second page, the second and third paragraph. Just some brought to the meal site of the choice. Take out the words to and from, it should be. And then the third paragraph, to participate, bring up a bingo card at any of the meal sites. I know how the fingers go really fast, and when you proof your own work, you don't catch it because it's in your head. So I'm not faulting Sammy. I'm just, that was my job a long time ago.
You're a teacher, so I've kind of missed you on the board when we do minute corrections.
I'd like to add at the 13, the last line, that should be the ADRC will be having instead of their.
I didn't catch that, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so with those corrections, Alan, does your motion stand, minutes as corrected?
It does, Your Honor.
Okay. Ooh, I've been promoted, thank you. And Jeannie, does your second stand as amended then?
Yes, it does.
Okay. All right, all in favor of adopting the minutes, sign of aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Thank you, Sammy, for your diligent work and keeping us on our toes. It's probably intentional. She wanted to see what would happen. Okay, so I'd like to turn the microphones over to Penny so you can present your position here.
Thank you. Is that right? Thank you. On the corrections, you reminded me of something that a client from the community said yesterday, and I just have to share it with you. I think the ADRC is just a tremendous resource, and I'm blessed to work there. One of my clients calls it the old ADRC. Yeah, and I asked him what he meant by that, and he said, well, it's like Old Faithful. Anyway, it kind of touched
Cool.
my heart, yeah.
Oh,
Very nice.
sweet.
Yeah, I think I'm going to start calling it the old ADRC. I had a couple of things that I wanted to talk about today. Melissa invited me, and I handed out a couple of flyers to you. The first one I'd like you to look at is regarding medication reviews, and it looks like this. It has a yellow border on the top. Early in my role at the ADRC, I participated in a program called Transitions Intervention, which is directed to assist people when they are first discharged home from the hospital, to help to coach them to be successful. We know that most people, not particular to age, most people when discharged from the hospital will make a mistake with one or two of their medications in that first week. And for older Americans, those mistakes can lead to rehospitalization or serious complication. And I've had the opportunity to deliver transitions intervention in the community to several clients, and it's been really eye-opening. I think I've only worked with one client who had their medications nailed. They were taking them exactly as the doctor had prescribed. So we know, and you can maybe see on the flyer, that even when we haven't been hospitalized, there's lots of reasons to not take medications the way that they're prescribed. And in our community, it could be because of a lack of health insurance or an inability to pay that $400 bill for an inhaler when you're in the donut hole with a Medicare Part D program. It could be a lack of understanding. It could be difficulty getting to the pharmacy. It could be, I don't like the way that medication makes me feel. So there are a variety of reasons that maybe we don't take medicines exactly as prescribed. And that's okay. That's not for me to judge. I'm not a doctor, and I'm nobody's decision maker. We know when we sit down with people to help understand how they are taking medications, that we can help them prepare to go to a doctor appointment with an agenda that will best suit their needs. So has anyone been to the doctor and heard the question, have any of your medicines changed?
Oh, yes.
Right? All of us?
Every time.
Every time you hear that. Yep. Well, Scott, have they?
No,
No. Since when?
have no idea. It's been years.
Sure. So what are they? And don't answer me.
Yeah.
I get that question too. We all do. It's a part of the medication reconciliation process at the clinic. It's designed to help to keep us safe and to prevent errors. How many people have seen an error on their medication list that doesn't seem like a big deal? Like maybe a stool softener or a Tylenol or a vitamin that's missing? Sure, sure. I have too. So do you say anything, or do you just move along with your appointment?
When I had my colonoscopy, they still had the go lightly on the list. So the next time I went in, I said, I'm not taking that anymore. You know,
Right.
so you have to let them know that you quit taking something.
Sure, and which is fantastic. Unfortunately, most people don't, or when they share that information with the nurse takes those notes, she's diligent about that, but she's not really the person who is able to update your medication list only the doctor is. So there are lots of places in the process where medication reconciliation can be off a little bit. And making sure that the doctor really does know what you're taking can make a huge difference in your ability to feel well. It can help reduce falls. It can really help to treat depression. So the purpose of, excuse me, Dora.
When, in Gunderson, preferred, which I go to, and every time after we have an appointment with our doctors, we get a runoff of everything, our meds and everything, and so I go through them, and then I have called and said, I'm not taking this one no more.
Sure.
Or there's one that should be added.
Right, and though you discussed it at the clinic, it didn't quite make the
Yeah.
list. Right, and there's a million things that can maybe not quite go right. And you're being proactive about it, that is fantastic.
But that's really nice because you get all your meds, and so I don't have to take my meds in. I just take my sheets.
Yeah.
And we go through it, and so you don't have to take them along each time.
Yeah, fantastic. And that's what I do too. I'm pretty diligent about keeping my medication list updated. And a lot of folks just aren't. They're used to something that works well for them, and their brains kept up with remembering what all of that was maybe years ago or maybe before they were sick, and now things have changed. So one of the first clients that I worked with in the community and completed a medication review was accidentally taking both Eliquis and Coumadin. He hadn't understood that he was supposed to stop one of those blood thinners when he was discharged from the hospital. So that's a pretty big deal.
Could have bled to death.
Right. And so what we did, I didn't give him medical recommendations. What we did together was to dial the doctor's office so that the doctor could tell him which medication he was to take, which he was to stop. And we averted what could have caused some pretty serious health complications. I worked with another gentleman who had a list of his medications, felt very confident that it was accurate, and it was. However, he was taking one pill a day, 2 pills a day, excuse me, of the 8 pills prescribed, because he wanted to make all of his pills last as long as they could because he felt they were too expensive. So when he was done taking the thyroid medicine and the Tylenol, then he'd move on to the blood pressure medicine. Then he'd move on to the diabetes medicine. And for whatever reason in his mind, that made sense. And now that particular gentleman has his medications set up by an agency every week. His medications he's fully compliant. I don't really like that word, but the better news is that his arthritis pain is pretty much eliminated. His diabetes numbers are much improved because he's now taking his medicines properly. Otherwise, what was happening when he went to the clinic is that the doctor was adding and adding and adding because it looked like those medicines weren't working. Have you ever heard the joke about, have you ever heard a gentleman with Parkinson's was on 7 medications, and someone asked him why he was. And he said, well, the first 6 didn't work. And there's a lot of working parts in medication management, and sometimes there are some really simple things that we can do to help people to follow through the way that they want to, and also to prepare them so that if they aren't taking medications as prescribed, that they can share that information with the doctor. No, I don't take that trazodone at night. It makes me feel like I'm woozy and drunk and I'm going to fall down. And so I'm not sleeping. And then the doctor can make a decision about stopping that medicine, and they know then for future reference what works or what doesn't. In any case, this is an easy thing. It ends up being, this program, the medication review, ends up to be really pretty easy, pretty eye-opening for many. For a lot of folks, it helps them to separate the medicines they haven't taken for years from the medicines they are currently taking, and then we can properly dispose of those old ones.
I also like this setup because my main job, or my real job, or whatever, is in the human services field. And we do use this for our clients, the right dose, the right duration, the right time, the right way. This is right, again, for those of us in the actual human services field, that is so familiar. Because when we have a patient or a client, we need to make sure they get the right meds and the right taken, because you don't want medication errors and stuff too. So a lot of people that are in the human services field and or the medical field, I personally like that because my real job is with Winona County Human Services, so I like that. Thank you.
Sure, thank you. So we intend to take this program to the congregate meal sites to present to folks, somewhat like we're talking today, and to invite them to think about that, and to call me if they wish, and maybe even a brown bag medication review, sort of an event might be planned after that. So planning to take this to each of the meal sites, and it will be in the newsletter this month as well. I could tell you stories all day long of some of the medication conundrums that we've come upon. I worked with one gentleman who wasn't sure what he was supposed to take or was not supposed to take, and he had a bin about the size of this open folder that was about this tall, full of medication bottles. And so we made a medical appointment. We took all of those medicines with because he really did not know. And the doctor helped then to reevaluate what he really needed and didn't. And most of that bin was taken for disposal. And he too was doing much better. There's simple things that we can do to help.
May I share a quick story?
Sure.
2008, after my prostate surgery, I got home, and I was taking what I thought was the proper amount of ibuprofen. So I get a call from the nurse. I don't know if it was 6 hours, 12 hours later or something, and starts out, but how's your pain? Oh, my pain's good. And so, okay, how many, ibuprofen you taking? Oh, 6 every so many hours. So no wonder you have no pain. You're supposed to take 2. So, yeah, just that follow-up call, is that you started out with, that idea of a nurse follow-up.
Sure.
I probably saved the lining of my stomach because ibuprofen
Yeah.
eats away at your stomach. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Through an honest mistake, my
Yes.
sister, my young sister, ended up with kidney failure. It's resolved, but that was an easy thing. So hoping to help people stay well right where they are. And to feel kind of more in command of their health care and be better prepared to talk to their doctors about what they are doing and aren't, what's working and what's not.
My doctor has set up, so I only take 4 medications a day, so I have one in the morning, one at noon, one at supper, and one at night. And that makes it very simple,
Yeah.
because I put them in these little cups, and so then I'm also on INR, which I have to go every week because it's wild.
Sure?
So that one, she can't figure me out, and neither can I.
Yeah, yeah. And all of those they work together to prevent you from having a stroke. It's pretty important to follow through so that you can live the life you want to live. Any other questions or feedback on the medication review?
I do a bubble pack, so it's easier for me to do that than I used to do bottles, and I get kind of mixed up about how many medications I'm supposed to have. So they decided to do bubble pack, and I like that.
I think that's fantastic. That is one of several ways to help manage medication safely. The pharmacy here in town does a couple of different kinds of bubble packing. In fact, most of our local pharmacies do. We know that some people don't take their medications the way they're prescribed because they struggle to get to the pharmacy. And maybe they can only get a ride once a month. So it's an easy thing to work with the pharmacy to work on changing things over so that their medications can be refilled at the same time. It takes a little bit of effort, but the pharmacist doesn't know we're having problems, and neither does the doctor unless we work through those. Or
My
talk about them.
helper, she goes, Tasha goes down and gets my medication every Monday, so I get it. And but I like the bubble pack because it's easier.
Wonderful. I'm glad that works well for you. That is excellent. If you would take out the other colorful flyer about healthy ideas, I'd like to take a few minutes to talk about that. Healthy ideas is an acronym for identifying depression and empowering activities for seniors. Globally, the number one debilitating diagnosis, the number one diagnosis for disability is depression in the world. And according to the World Health Organization, since COVID, since all of the lockdowns and shutdowns, the rate of depression has increased pretty dramatically. They think the prevalence has increased about 25%, which would make sense to us, right? We know on surveys that we hear that the most important thing to people is people. So loneliness and depression are really a big deal. And we've known that. There have been lots of studies on that, but we really haven't had a good tool to be able to help with that, short of recommending someone visit their doctor and talk about it, or maybe talk with a counselor or a clergy member or a friend. Healthy Ideas is a pretty easy program to implement in the community, right where people are. So we all get sad and down sometimes. Everybody does. That's a part of life that we expect. But when that sadness and when being down lasts for more than 2 weeks, it could be depression. The good news is that there are really good treatments for it. Some of them are holistic sort of treatments. Some of them are talk therapy, some are medications, and none of them need to work in isolation from the other when we work together. I was certified in this program a couple of weeks ago, really fortunate to be able to participate. A grant paid for the very expensive class, which I'm grateful for. It's an evidence-based program that has shown really pretty incredible response from participants. We know that there's a pretty direct correlation between what we do in our lives and how we feel about ourselves and our life. So we ask 2 questions. Leading questions. In the past 2 weeks, have you been bothered by feeling down, depressed, or hopeless? And if you have, how much has that affected your life? And another question is, in the past 2 weeks, have you been bothered with feeling little interest or pleasure in doing things? And both of those questions, either one, could be an indicator of the need for some further questions. What we know is that with COVID, a lot of people didn't choose to stay home so much as they stayed home because they felt they had no choice for their own safety, for their family's safety. So a lot of things changed. How we shop, how we interact, how we socialize, even our family parties. Those interactions are part of what helps to keep us well emotionally. So in addition to trying to help folks to really encourage people to come back out, yes, be safe, do wash your hands, stay home if you're sick, wear a mask if you're contagious. Beyond all of that, we want to encourage people to come back out to the community again, to visit like we are here, to make those connections. But some people need a little bit more help in their home to kind of get the ball rolling. And so this program includes screening for symptoms of depression as well as the severity of depression, and then educating older adults about what depression is, referring them to their doctor or perhaps to a counselor if that's needed, and linking folks with other community services, maybe a caregiver support group, to help them to feel less isolated and alone, and then really empowering people to take their lives back. You know, what did you do that you used to enjoy? What would you like to do now? What are your goals? This program can last anywhere from, participation can last between 3 months and 6 months, because it takes a while to change the activity that you're doing. How many of us walk every day? That's awesome. That's awesome. How many of us make a phone call to friends and family every day? How many people get out of the house every week? Every day? You guys are active. And many of the people that we don't talk to, that we talk to, don't. They are no longer making those phone calls or getting them. Maybe they're older and their friends and loved ones are not as able themselves. They're no longer able to drive. They don't have an ADRC council meeting to go to.
Or I know some older people, even like my grandparents, a lot of their kids and grandkids are so far away, they may call them, but they can't see them in person because, their kids and grandkids move on. So that's hard for a lot of them, too.
Sure.
Their family isn't close, kids and grandkids move on, too, and it's hard, so.
Yeah, absolutely. And there are a lot of things that maybe we can't do that we used to do. I suspect I will probably never ski again. I don't think I could walk after. But there are a lot of things that I can do to fill my life, and sometimes we need a partner to do that. Healthy Ideas gives options to folks, and can really make a difference.
In order to get my mail, I have to leave the house. So then when I pick up my mail, then I drive into Independence and cruise around and stop sometimes to talk to somebody. So.
You are the only advisory council member who's wearing a boa, so I think that you are set and outgoing for life, Dora Jean. I'm just kidding. Those of us who have that are really blessed, that you keep going, that you have things that you look forward to, and things that keep you interacting, really can make a world of difference. Sometimes a small change like a cold or COVID or a death in the family can tip people over into a hole that they can't climb back out of without some help. So
I would like to make a suggestion that our newsletter incorporates some of these outgoing ideas, because when I reviewed the newsletter, I find out how to die and where to live, and, there's a lot of in-place suggestions without being proactive and outgoing with our lives. And there's potential to increase that in this newsletter, and I would like to see more of that. Healthy ideas actually being incorporated.
Super, and Healthy Ideas is actually introduced in the newsletter that will be going out for January and February, so that's great
Okay.
feedback too. And the medication review will also be included in that issue.
What I'm talking about is actual things.
Right.
Like, for instance, I go to the Winona State University Retiree Center and do the Winona Senior University. It is so diversified and so encouraging.
Sure, so
to be with
opportunities,
people.
activity
I mean, those kind of
opportunities?
things ought to be in the newsletter.
Sure.
I mean, other meanings, possibilities of being out there in the community. This newsletter, I'm sorry, but this could be 2018, 2016, with a lot of the information that's in here. And I would like to see it be a little more progressive in how we maintain ourselves. Because not everybody's going to go into a nursing home. That's not the huge population.
Sure.
You know.
Especially nowadays with the advances in healthcare, not everybody goes
Right.
to nursing home or assisted living.
No. So but that's in here, you know, so, okay.
No, I appreciate it. I just want to mention to you too, we would welcome any ideas that you have for things that you would want to see in the newsletter. So we could spend quite a bit more. Maybe we should even put that topic on the next meeting agenda. I think that would be great to talk about it more. We can explain what the process is, and we would love to get more involvement from you all. So I do want to also just mention, not maybe everybody is aware of Penny and her position. So Penny is our community health worker. We received a 3-year grant from the state, and Penny started what month? Okay, so about 6 months now. It has been wonderful to have Penny as part of our team. It has really allowed us to, these are 2 programs that she's talking about that they're really 2 brand new and I think wonderful tools that the ADRC has in our toolbox now. Without having that position, it would be hard for the ADRC to have been able to absorb, basically, add these 2 pretty great programs. So we're very, very fortunate, but I do want to just explain that these programs, it is because of that grant. We are hopeful that when Penny came on board, we were told that the state would be able to hopefully help us look at long-term solutions or funding for this position. So we do look forward to that, but we have Penny for 3 years, but just kind of wanting some of you to have that background that may not have known that, so.
Sure, so some of the new congregate dining sites have brought more people out, some of the exercise programs.
Push your microphone.
Well, I was just saying that since April, there have been some new program developments, offerings, and a survey was also done with all of the congregate, at all the congregate dining sites to ask people, what do you want? What would you come to? What interests you? And so those were just done recently as well. Yeah, I think they are great ideas, and as much as we can build a little bit closer to home, I think really helps some of our seniors too. And maybe also making sure that they are aware that there are transportation opportunities to get to some of those activities. So many of the people that we work with sometimes feel pretty limited by their ability to do things independently. So if we can connect to each other and to resources and help people, I am interested in going to the Winona site that you talked about. And I bet other people would be too, but they might need some help to get there. Any questions on healthy ideas? That is just such a basic overview. I saw our first 2 clients last week for this program, and I went back to the office absolutely thrilled. I thought best 2 hours of my life that I have ever spent. This for a gentleman who days before felt like all was hopeless and was talking about ending his life. And that sounds pretty sobering. It is pretty sobering. And there are opportunities to help. The more that we talk about depression and mental illness, I think the greater the opportunities and the comfort level for people to get help. A rib fracture is very, very painful, right? But if someone is sitting comfortably, do you know that their rib is fractured? If they're talking to you, if they're still at home? No. But I assume it's got to feel like a gut punch that lasts for weeks. Depression is like a gut punch that lasts much, much longer, and it's totally invisible until it begins to affect people's appetite, their energy level. It affects, we also know that according to the Montreal cognitive assessment and further studies that have happened, we know that untreated depression is a pretty significant precursor to dementia, left untreated, that is. So there's a million reasons to really talk about this a lot and to dig in and help. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Penny. If you,
Mr. Chairman, excuse me.
Yes.
Can you inform us as to when you intend to take the pictures?
But it was going to be at the end, but I don't, we got
Well,
quite a
I have
few.
a conflict,
Do you have
and
to
I
leave?
just,
Oh,
and Ms. Paulson has given us a tremendous amount of information and generated a lot of responses, but she's been at this for the last 35 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So, just curious.
right. Yep. Do we know who's taking the picture?
One of us,
Oh.
Sammy or myself, so we could take it now if.
Yeah, since you have to go, we could get together wherever in the room and take the picture now. Just pause for a
If you
moment.
don't mind.
Don't mind, don't mind at all.
Did people did people think that it would be a good idea to try to get the TV in with those attending, or do we just wait till the next
Well, we
meeting?
can
for
try.
Okay.
Yeah,
Or-
can we stand under that TV
Yeah,
and
that's what
Jeannie
that's
can
what
come
I'm-
back? and-
Mr. Chairman, you could do this at the next meeting, too.
The thing is, we don't meet for another 2 months.
2 months, yeah.
And we do have an opening as well, so I do think that if we would be able to take a picture and that would help promote, then we could make a post on Facebook and just help get the word out that we do need one other new member. That's what I had in mind, if people are
Sure.
okay with that.
Let's go ahead and do it right now. We'll gather underneath.
Technology piece might be really inviting.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, you're okay with that?
Ashley has hers.
Okay.
Stand under that. Okay, that's fine.
Get any younger, Mary?
Okay.
Just the main purpose of the two programs are.
You're tall. Great.
Yeah, I'm tall. I know the other committee's not good, now we'll get one. Got the new, got. Not watching anything else in Viola. And you're, yeah, you're good. Got the virtual numbers up there?
Got the virtual members up there.
That is kind of what I envisioned too.
Yeah, I did too.
Feels good to stand up and stretch.
Yeah.
Jeannie, you need a smile. You're on candid camera.
Yeah.
Nice, ladies, beautiful.
I'm just looking at my crazy hair. It's like sticking out all over. Oh well. Forgot we were being photographed.
It's your smile that we're looking at. It's beautiful.
We're just waiting for Dora Jean.
Oh, sorry.
You can relax your spine.
You can rest your muscles.
Oh, just not.
What was going on?
So it doesn't log me in. So like he was trying to.
Not the only one, we both ran away.
Have you taken the picture?
Yeah.
Oh, there's Dora.
It like works sometimes, but then it doesn't.
I thought you ran away from us.
I'm so tall.
Everybody say cheese.
There's something else we're supposed to say besides cheese, but I can't remember what it is.
We always say cheeseburger. That's what we say in our house. Cheeseburger.
We're good. Thanks, everybody.
Dora Jean. Dora Jean, you were not blocking anybody off today.
I wasn't?
No.
I want to tell you that Kaylee, my granddaughter Kaylee's off. Yeah. She thought she was.
Oh.
I think she had some classes with her. She's
Grab some more coffee.
Oh my gosh.
yeah, but she's 27.
I don't know how they all grow up so fast.
They love her at Mayo.
Oh, I bet they do. What's not to love?
I'm sure they love her
People have
anywhere.
written to the administration of the 611.
Oh. Sammy, doesn't that fill your heart?
Congratulations are in order.
Yeah.
You're going from there to here.
Thanks, man.
Kind of, sort of.
Thank
Yep,
you.
I'm staying with the ADRC, but just going to be doing some more physical.
So changing positions within,
Within, yep, but I'm
Yeah.
staying housed as the ADRC.
just a different, yeah.
Just a little bit of a different title.
No.
But thank you.
Am I going down now?
I'm an Armitage from home. 100 years ago. Or 37. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, we're going to continue with number 6 on our agenda.
Okay, I wanted to let people know that I did get an opportunity to talk to Eileen Harrison, and she did resign from the council. So that does leave one more opening for the council. In addition, we had Rita Halverson, who had indicated she was interested. I thought she would be here today, but we don't see her, so, yeah. So I guess just wanting to open it up if anybody has any suggestions. We do have 3 new members. So I had taken recommendations or suggestions from some of you.
Like I'm saying, I know we have 3 new members altogether, 1 official, and I think there's one or two that are officially, I think, in January, I believe, like you said.
Right, I think, yep, Lois, I believe, has gone through.
The whole official process.
Yeah, the official process.
And there's
is
one or two more that
approved.
need to be officially, I believe, if I was to take an educated guess, I'd have to check with either the county clerk and or the county chair. That would be January, when the official.
Yep, I believe Iola is still going through the process of formal
Yep, and I
approval.
believe, don't quote me on this like you said, but I'm taking an educated guess since there's several nominations, made them want to do it all at once, so.
Yep.
In January, to make it official.
So I think-
Rita, I'm not sure if it was because of just the parking out there today was atrocious, but she has a big van that she has to get in and out of with her power wheelchair. And, if you can't find a place to park, how are you going to do it? So, we'll have to figure out if that's her problem. But Tuesdays are horrible around here with, I think it's court, I believe. Is that right, Alan? Is Tuesdays court?
It's already bad parking, then you add on if there's extra court. Tuesdays is the major court or it's a major day, so it makes it worse for you.
Yep. So might be something to think about for the future, but maybe by February it'll be better. We'll see.
So,
And
yes.
it might be helpful, Scott, if she is going to be there, that somebody, because I'm not sure, can her chair get through the security? Is it wide enough?
That's a good question. I'm not sure.
Because if it's not, if she is going to be there, someone can meet her at the Human Services door, or not Human Service, well, yeah, the door by Quick Trip, which is totally accessible. And then she can get on the elevator right away, which is right there, which would be way better for her to come in the building.
Wouldn't she have to get clearance from the sheriff to come through that door?
No, if somebody from the committee is there to let her in. If she,
Okay.
I mean, it's dreadful that that's the only exit right now, which I don't believe is totally accessible, but I mean, we can check that out. But if Melissa or somebody can meet her at the.
Okay, we'll make
'cause
those
the-
arrangements
Yeah.
for next time.
Yeah, because the elevator is right there when you walk in. There's, we need to make it totally accessible for her to get in
Okay,
and
yeah,
out.
thank you for that. I'll make arrangements with her for the next
I
meeting.
believe,
Yeah.
I don't know, I haven't been with the county that long. I just want to I think that's okay, but I just don't want you to get in trouble by the
Kevin,
sheriff.
trust me, it is okay.
Or the county board
She's a
chair.
committee member. She's a committee member. If we help her in, it's fine.
Okay,
I think if it really you have to use that door, I think that it's okay to do that.
all right, I just wanted to make sure, not that I'm trying to argue, I just don't want anybody to get in trouble by the county administration for bypassing the.
I know, I heard it.
Just get the word out if there's any.
I heard it before that if you really have to have somebody, somebody that has, that's in the chair like that
Unless we have a couple that we could
she should.
Actually, Scott, there's a,
Yeah.
Pardon me?
Scott, there's a woman on the Parks Committee, although she's been unable to attend in person. She was given and she's a citizen member of our Parks and Tourism Committee. She was given a accessible badge to come in that back door, because that's the only way she can get in the building. So, it is not a problem. We just have to make it easy for her.
Okay. And with this committee, we have specific categories. We have members who are over 60. We have members representing the community of individuals with developmental disability, members represented with physical disability, and then human service board member and county board member. So the person that left was underneath the persons or individuals with a physical disability. So we're kind of looking to fill that spot if possible. And so if, be thinking about it, if you have friends that you think might be interested, or if somebody here that's in, an over 60 is physically challenged and, could represent us there, maybe we could switch around a little, but we do need to fill one more position, so. Let Melissa know if you have any ideas of people who could fill that spot. So hopefully by the next meeting, we can have someone in place. So, all right. Bridges Health Update, number 7.
Sure, I did give all of you a copy of the new flyer for Bridges Health, which starts or resumes in January. So just wanting to give people an update. That is the free health clinic that started this September. So it is Winona State University is coming to Blair to Friendship First, and they are doing preventive health and wellness services to our county. And so it went very, very well this fall. There were 5 dates. We saw over 50 seniors and provided those appointments and consults for them. Every appointment that we had was scheduled, and we had overflow. So that tells you the level of interest and need that there is in our county. I heard wonderful feedback regarding the program. We did offer transportation, so anybody that was unable to get to their appointment, we were there for them. We are proud that we're able to resume these, like I said, again in January. So these are the dates. So people call the ADRC. We are the ones that schedule those appointments. We did have a conversation with Winona State or with Bridges. Let them know that there is the demand. Of course, they saw that. They know that we would like to have more dates, possibly more locations. So that is something that we hope we can continue to talk with them about. But we were able to do these 5 dates for this spring. One of the things that they did let us know was the most popular consults that they did were the foot and nail care, as you can imagine, because it is hard to get that done. That was the most popular. The other thing that they said that the massages were also very well utilized. People enjoyed those. The other thing that they did say that was also very common were they call them mental wellness checks. So it is people coming in and talking, like, when you think about what Penny did have to say, people being lonely, people being depressed, people wanting to talk about their mental health. They got a lot of feedback of people that really enjoyed that contact with those college students. Most of the people that were actually providing the care were college students, so people really were enjoying those interactions with those students. So,
unless something has changed, I believe that they actually have an office in the high school administrative building in Arcadia. And they also offered a whole grouping of appointments in Arcadia, similar to these. They take their mobile unit and go.
It's similar. At one point, they were trying to do this, what Bridges is doing in Blair, in Arcadia. However, they just didn't have a space for them. So they are doing similar services. They're free services out of that mobile lab unit, and that is a partnership with St. Clair Mission and with the Bridges Health or Winona State. So we do have those dates as well. Their focus, however, is more on youth. So just kind of making people aware. We do have flyers that we have, and we can let individuals know about that as well. But the focus of the Blair Clinic is more on adults, and seniors, the one in Arcadia, is more like youth and families. So
Didn't hear that part, so thank you. Learning some things today. All right, any questions? Move on to the Facebook page then.
just very briefly, this has been a long time coming, but we did start our Facebook page in November. So would encourage you, if you are on Facebook or you know people that are on Facebook, please follow our page and like our page. Similar to just the comments about the newsletter, we also would welcome feedback on the Facebook page. So who has seen it? Okay. Is there anybody on Facebook that,
I need to get there yet.
okay, yeah, do you have, for those of you that have seen it?
It's really nice, I like it.
Okay, we're again,
Other departments and our divisions of departments have Facebook pages too. You're not the only one. I know the sheriff's department has one. I think, I don't, the land management, all that has one. I don't think the Board of Health, I don't know if we have our own Facebook. I probably should check that. I should probably know that as the vice president, but I know most of the departments do.
we have been trying to just kind of find the right combination of just kind of more light content, things that we're doing at the ADRC, but also, our support groups, our meals, and just other information that, really important topics. So if there's anything that any of you see that you think would be a great thing to share, if it's, just let us know, and we'd be happy to put that on there.
When we went to that, I went to, that thing is,
The Lark Toys.
Toy shop
Yep.
thing, and my helper said, "I saw you on Facebook. You look so great." And it was a good trip.
That's
I like it.
What is the picture you take over here be on Facebook or just there?
That's what I would like to do, is to put it on Facebook and,
See who your committee members are.
Jeannie's got the Facebook page up
yeah,
there.
there it is.
Yep, but I'm saying you should, it'd be good to have the current committee members.
It's very nice.
It is.
And I can elaborate a little bit just to show you how much this has already reached community members. We currently have 215 followers in a month, a little over a month. Our posts have reached over 8,300 people. We've had post engagement, meaning people have liked it or commented, over 4,600 interactions already. And we're just continuously gaining followers. But it's just a great tool because family members can engage with us and relay this information to other family members that may not have internet access or just don't care to, participate, but may not get to see a newsletter or see like anything on TCC's or the Trempealeau County TV station. So it's just another great way to get our information out there, our programs, our events, what we can help you with. So it's been pretty successful.
Yeah, so I think that's a really great point. Thanks for that, because we did this recent survey at our meal sites asking about activity interests, and we did ask the question about how many people that are coming to our meal sites are on Facebook and are using Facebook, and it was dead even. Half of our individuals that are coming to our meal sites, so half of our diners are on Facebook. So I think that's pretty significant. And then, but what Ashley mentioned also, if it's not necessarily always even our diners or our target population, it's letting providers know, it's letting family members know, it's letting children know, all of the other people that we just want to get our message out. So I think in a month's time, I'm pretty happy with how it's going. So it's been fun. We've been kind of trying to show off all the things that we have fun doing, and the good work that our staff does. So
It's really a nice nice setup, and I actually liked getting notified about the Ty Peddington thing on HGTV or whatever it was on, about making your home safe and fun. For the holidays.
right. And that was something that we found out just kind of last minute, and we would not have, before our deadlines for the newsletter, we're working on it a month ahead of time. This just allows, even if a few people are able to participate and see an event like that, it's just great that we can get it out there. So that is an example. Again, if you are seeing things and knowing of things, let us know. We can share it. The other important thing is just these community events that we're also trying to promote, because we want to build communities. We want people to be aware of things. And so, again, if there are events in your communities, let us know. We want to promote them. So.
Very good.
And I'm missing the peach cobbler at Strum for lunch today.
Bummer.
I know. I'll just have to make my own.
Yep. Number 9, reducing social isolation and loneliness in our communities.
Okay. We've talked, this came up several times already today of just, again, we know that many people are lonely. We know that there are many people that are isolated and not feeling connected and part of things. So we had done this survey, and I can share that and send out those results to people. Had done this survey about a year ago that indicated that this is a very prevalent problem with our county and the people that we are working with. So we continue to make efforts and try to think about ways that we can make a difference. And Penny's program, the Healthy Ideas program, I think is a great example of something that, really like something that we're doing, a real program that can help people. A very simple thing that we started just this month, if I can have you look at this Goodness Cakes. Some of you might have seen this on Facebook. This came to us, we actually, within the last year had started giving birthday cards to our home-delivered meal recipients. We had somebody at the beginning of the beginning of November that received a birthday card from the ADRC who said to us, "Thank you for that beautiful card. Can't thank you enough. You are the only people that remembered my birthday." And so that was one story that we heard that, and we thought, gosh, I'm almost like tearing up when I think about that, but what else could we do? So this is a program that we heard about that other communities are doing, and it's a pretty simple program. We actually then ourselves, like just in the work we do, we learn about people that we know really would fit this bill of not having somebody that would remember them on their birthday. Just today, we had somebody call us and said, "I want to nominate somebody. I've got somebody in mind that I know would really appreciate this." So that was our very first referral. We made our very first cake last week and delivered that. I had the privilege of delivering that. I took my lunch break last week and brought the cake to this person, and it again was just joyous. She was so thrilled. She said, "How did you know it was my birthday?" And we said, "A little birdie told us," and it was just heartwarming. So I just kind of wanted to make people aware of this, and I think the goodness will just spread. Anybody can call us and make a nomination or a referral. There's not anything that is, it's not a stringent, we're not vetting people. Who wouldn't enjoy cake, right? You can never have too much cake or frosting or sprinkles. So just kind of wanted people to be aware of that. There's no money that's exchanged. We're not charging anybody anything. It's just a very simple program. Does anybody have any?
I'm sorry, I'd certainly volunteer to deliver cake if you need it.
That's good to know. That's good to know.
Just keep me in mind.
Okay. Yes.
I want to thank all of you for my gifts and the beautiful card. I'm still crying. I'm sorry. But thank you. and my birthday.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So, yeah, that's that program.
Beth has a,
Okay, Beth?
Back when I was teaching and I found out somebody on staff that I worked with, not the whole entire staff, but it was their birthday, they would get a birthday cake. And I miss making cakes. So after April, I would definitely love to make cakes. I mean, they're just box cakes. I don't do anything from scratch, but cake.
It's a thought.
They're good. We can eat a half a cake. I can eat a half a cake in 2 days, so.
Okay. And that's what we were hoping would happen, is just that people would get to know about it. I did have another person yesterday, it was a 4K teacher that said to me, I want to make cakes with my class, and we'll make them, and then we will deliver them. So that's what I think will happen here, is that just word of mouth and, okay.
Starting in April.
Okay. Yeah. Sounds great.
wonderful idea, thank you. Fun day travels.
One other thing.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. So I did give people a flyer about our about telephone support programs. This is not really a new concept. There's a lot of communities that are doing this. But again, it goes to the problem of just social isolation and loneliness. So again, many of our seniors in our communities do not have those friends or relatives living in the area. Kevin, a lot of you have talked about this already today at this meeting. So what this concept is, it's a telephone support program. So much like the cakes, people would be identified. Anybody could make a referral. You could refer yourself if you feel that somebody would benefit from having a telephone friend. That's basically what it is. So we would recruit volunteers that would be matched with individuals. The goal would be 15-minute conversation once a week. That's kind of the concept, really. So this again is being done. I heard a program speak about this from Milwaukee in the last month and talk about their program. So what I'm wanting today is just to kind of open it up and see if you all have any questions about it, to see if you have any feedback, I guess, at all, and just kind of looking for feedback about this type of program.
Sounds like an offshoot of the old pen pal concept, but people don't write much anymore.
No telephone,
Yep.
anything but more modern. Modern equivalent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of people text instead of call. I think it sounds like a wonderful idea. I'm sure there's a lot of seniors out there that would appreciate calls, and something that I think would be worthwhile to start.
I think it's a great idea too, because when I do make calls with my friends, it is beyond the texting. The conversation can go on for an hour because, what we thought we were going to talk about keeps on evolving. So, yeah, this is super. Telephone is the way to go, I think, and I agree. Texting can make a statement, but that's it. It's finished.
Yeah. That was one of Penny's questions this morning, was how many people call their families, on a regular basis. Some people do it daily, some weekly, some it's yearly.
And also, I think, I know I'm new on here, but you can do this, your phone can also do pictures. Just like we're Zooming now, I have the capability of being able to call someone and seeing their face. So, that might be an option also, when you're talking to them, maybe say, okay, let's see each other today. How are you doing? Let me see if I can see your face as I talk to you, and that's another thing that can help them learn too as well, because there's some things on this telephone I probably won't ever know and probably don't want to ever know them. But the capability is there, and that helps to kind of stretch that mind a little bit as well. So
Yeah, I think that's a great point. In it, some of the programs, because I have done some research to know a little bit about best practices, and a lot of the volunteers in some of the communities are college students, and so when you look at the literature for the programs, they're advertising as video or phone calls. What we also have learned is a lot of our seniors want to learn more about technology. So what a great teaching tool as well if people want to learn how to do FaceTime. ADRC could go out and do some training as well on how to do something like that.
And the person feels really good when they've accomplished some new technical thing. My husband, for example, gets very excited when he's figured out how to do something he didn't know on his phone. So
I like
that's
this.
a good idea, Iola. I like that.
Yeah, and I like this idea because it opens up some opportunities for individuals that aren't leaving their house a whole lot. So I think about people that maybe don't drive. I think what we might see is some of the volunteers might get just as, and we know volunteers get just as much out of the experience as those that they are helping. So I really think I like the idea. I also think, if it's something that you support, I feel that there would be opportunity like RSVP, which is the Retired Senior Volunteers Program. I would like to explore with them if that would be something that they might be interested in as well.
Yeah,
Because I think,
good idea.
yeah. I think it opens up a lot of.
The ADRC is really opening doors. I love that. So much creative stuff going. Good job.
Yes, for sure.
Okay, so I will continue to explore that, and at the next meeting, I will hopefully have some more ideas and kind of, have some things more formal to present to you.
You bet. Sounds
I
good.
had a nice experience just the other evening. A friend of mine, her husband passed away, so she's moved completely out of the area. And she says,
Thank
I
you,
didn't
Ellen.
call you on your birthday.
Merry Christmas.
Because I knew we'd have more time to talk a couple days later. We talked for an hour and 45 minutes. We covered so much stuff. And it was an evening and I was home alone and I said, what a gift. Yeah, it was really nice.
Right.
Yep, please keep it going.
Okay.
Fun day travels.
So I think we'll have Ashley kind of explain that.
So as Melissa may have mentioned, and Penny as well, we recently did surveys at the meal sites, asking people, what do you want from us? What can we do to try to, engage you, this and that? The number one thing that came back from this is senior destination trips. People wanted to see more outings, go places, get to somewhere they might not normally be able to because we can get them there. So we had started kind of working on this earlier this summer in a kind of a scaled back, let's see how it works, if there's interest, things like that. And we took a busload to the Lady of Guadalupe Shrine in La Crosse. And we had lunch at the shrine, and then we visited the sweet shop on our way out of town, which was a big hit. And people that didn't know each other, by the end of it, were talking and engaging. Everybody sat together for lunch. It was just a great time. Just seeing, different people get to know each other and have fun. So we decided, following that we went to Lark Toys. And as Mary can contest, she had a blast. everybody has, talked positive and they were excited about it. One thing I have heard since I've been in this position is we want to go to the Christmas lights. We want to go to La Crosse to the Rotary lights. We want to go to Chippewa Falls to Irvine Park. So we are currently this month taking buses and vans to the various areas. Pretty much each van has been almost at max capacity. We do have waiting lists for some to try to, keep the bus filled. I had the opportunity of going with on one of these trips, and let me tell you, it was great. Again, people that normally didn't know each other or whatever were engaging, so people were meeting new people. Everybody just, it was an open conversation going through the park, looking at things. If somebody saw something neat, they'd say, oh, look at the dragon, has flames coming out the mouth, and everybody was just engaged. We had lunch or supper at Culver's, and again, everybody sat together. Nobody, there was people that went as a group or a couple friends, but everybody literally sat together or in the general area and engaged. So it was just great to see that. And with the demand being the highest thing people are requesting, we are now working at trying to implement a fun day travel each month. May not be anything extravagant. Like in January, it's cold, we have snow. We're gonna go to the Oakwood Mall for the day from 10 to 2. And you can go about whatever you'd like to do. You wanna take a movie in? Go check out Mycon Cinema's reopening there. You wanna just have lunch at, Five Guys? Or, the Cafe Court? Do so. If you have friends that live in Eau Claire, can they meet you there and have lunch or do a little shopping? So January is going to be the Oakwood Mall. And then in February, this one has brought a bunch of excitement, which I didn't think it would, but it has. We're going to go spend the day in Winona. We're going to start off the morning by hitting Friday, February 17th.
I might join you or come swing by because I work in Winona.
That would be great.
Yeah.
That would be great. But we're going to start the morning off at Blado's Donuts, the famous
Oh, I'm
Blado's
coming.
Donuts.
Put me on the list.
Good for my work break, so.
And after we get all hocked up on sugar, we're going to go explore the Watkins Heritage Museum and Gift Shop. And then right across the street is the Polish Institute of Cultural and Heritage, which both places are free to roam about, and they're right across the street from each other. So if you want to spend more time in one versus the other, you're certainly able to. So those are what we have on the agenda. But what we're asking you today is, do you have any ideas for us? Any places that you think people would enjoy going? I had somebody on my trip to the Guadalupe Shrine ask about Crystal Cave in Spring Valley. I said, I'll put it on my list. Another one was maybe in the early spring or early summer when it's nice, the Laura Ingalls Wilder Museum and Homestead in Pepin. It doesn't cost a lot of money, to do something like that, and maybe lunch at the Pickle Factory or something. We talked about maybe Irvine Park in the summer when the animals are out and the dam is open and you can see the greenery and everything. So if you have any suggestions for us on where we can go, please let me know, because I'd like to, like I said, try to get a fun day trip every month. And if the demand is there, I'm not opposed to looking into a second trip, to accommodate more people. But if you have any ideas, please let me know, because I'd like to make sure we get our seniors and elderly, disabled out and about and doing things that they normally wouldn't be able to.
The Refuge Center, the
Oh.
Trempealeau County Refuge Center.
Yes, that'd be a great one.
I think
National
too,
Eagle-
and
Eagle
Beth can correct me, but isn't it in Arcadia, the Soldiers Walk? That's one of the largest, I think I just learned this, that it's one of the largest Oh God, I've got brain fog right now. But anyway, Beth, you live in Arcadia, so you know about that.
Yeah, they used to take trips to Memorial Park there and do the walk. And I think they've got, I live there, but I don't ever go there. A building there.
It's one of the largest,
In the United States.
right. The word is escaping me. Memorial to soldier. I mean, I just think it would be an interesting, something
Right.
different.
Do you know, Beth, can you arrange tours? I think at one time you could. I don't know if it was through the chamber where somebody would actually
Yeah, I
come
would
and explain everything?
Contact the Chamber of Commerce. I don't know who kind of runs the park there, but you could have lunch either at the pavilion or at the little shelter by the swimming pool there.
And also living in Arcadia, it's a beautiful park. Even though I'm relatively new to the Arcadia area, to have bragging rights to be one of the biggest memorials in the United States, it's in our own backyard, it's pretty cool.
That's, I feel like just ongoing. If people think of things, let us know.
Yeah, we'll just
You know,
email you.
Yeah, we did arrange, we want to know about local activities too. Ashley was able to arrange the bus to go to the Petrick 50th Memorial just this fall. We had some people who were interested in that. Other things that we've done in the last year have been the dairy breakfast, fair, the Trempealeau County Fair. So
On behalf of the Parks Committee, which Ms. Nutter and I are on, we appreciate the bus coming there because that's a big deal. I'm sure our chair lady, Ms. Nutter, would agree that we're glad to have the bus because it's a big deal there.
Yeah, so if there's anything that you think of, community events even, or, concerts or plays or anything, let me know. Because I can make the bus available, I can make transportation available, and we can advertise it in our newsletter and on Facebook. And that's part of the goal too, is to get everybody out in our community as well. So it doesn't have to, we picked Winona, but, if we can support local in Trempealeau County, I'm all for that. That's why, the Petrick celebration, I had Apple Affair available if people wanted to go in Galesville, the Trempealeau County Fair, and I even did Jackson County Fair just because we have school districts in Trempealeau County, but the kids live in Jackson, so like their 4-H projects would go over there, just to give families an opportunity to go see grandkids' displays and things like that. So, any ideas we'd greatly appreciate.
just along those lines, we do take the monthly bus trips to La Crosse, Eau Claire, and Black River. So those are available for people. And they have been quite, full. Mhm.
I don't know if it's appropriate or not. I don't go to the casino in Black River very often, but seems like when I was a part of the Unified Board, our staff would go over occasionally for bingo. And they have a huge bingo area, and the food at their dining room area is quite reasonable. So that might be an option for some.
And taste balls. I don't go there terribly often, but I agree. Both the price and the taste of the food, they're very reasonable both ways, especially in today's economy.
And that is a popular attraction when we send the bus to Black River. Dean will usually drop them off right away, then he'll take the other ones shopping, or, do whatever, and then pick them up. And that was a request, was can we go to Black River? Can we get a day to go to Black River? Just to be able to get out and have a little fun, play bingo, enjoy the buffets, whatever. But that is an attraction and a request that had come about.
I agree. Black River Falls area might be biased because I'm originally from there, born and raised pretty much. Might be a little biased, but it's a beautiful area over there, so.
I am very happy that we're going to have somebody's going back to Brookside Apartments. Yay! I already signed up.
What's coming back there?
Strong bodies.
Oh, strong bodies.
Is there any way those strong bodies maybe in the future go to other apartment complexes
Would
like?
love to do that. So we just need to get more people trained.
Yeah, because if
So-
you do it, because I like it to go like to the apartment complex in Arcadia, and I know there's others that the housing authority owns throughout. We should
yeah.
get them to those ones too in the future.
So Strong Bodies is an evidence-based exercise class. It's a strength training class, so it involves weights. Most people use weights. You don't have to use weights, but it focuses on balance and fall prevention. So we were able to offer the class in 2 locations last year. That was in Whitehall and that was in Blair. So we have people trained in those 2 communities, and we have the class starting again in January. It's a 12-week, yes, it's a 12-week class, and it's a 12-week class, and it's an excellent class. It's just a matter of getting people trained. It's a full-day training, but help spread the word. If you know of people, or if any of you would be interested in getting trained for the class, that's just really what it takes.
It's really
Who
a
would we
lot
let
of
know
fun.
if we're interested in being trained?
I'm
Who
sorry,
would
what
we
was that?
contact?
You would
Who would we
contact me.
contact?
Yep,
Oh,
you would
okay.
contact
I wanna
me.
train. I wanna
Okay,
train.
awesome. That's great. Yeah. They have not released the training dates yet for 2023. Typically, they will do about 4 of them throughout Wisconsin. Last year, we were fortunate that, or in 2022, there was a training in La Crosse. So that's great.
As long as it's not after dark. Look, I don't travel after dark. I am not used to the darkness like here. Ugh. But
No,
yeah,
that
I'd love
would-
to do that.
That would be great. Yeah, that's great. That's just what we need, is people that
We
that are willing
had
to train.
a lot of fun. It was fun trying to do different things, and some people they didn't do them very good, but they says you just have to try.
It's great. I can send you some more information then about some links to learn more about it. It's a great program. Ashley and I, we were actually at quite a few of the classes in Blair this fall, and so I got to be really familiar with the exercises, and it's just amazing because people started out as strangers or near strangers. There was about 10 people that finished the class in Blair, and you could just see people are just kind of uncomfortable with one another, but by the end, I mean, people. Yeah, there was a bond there, and everybody that participated, just reported, gosh, yeah, I can do this exercise. My balance has improved so much. Again, fall prevention, people were saying, like, they learned too, even about how to prevent falls, and they were stronger. So it really is, a great opportunity, So for some of those communities like Whitehall, we don't have a gym here. There's not a walking track. So this is something that it's really great.
And
So.
the basement is big enough so that you can have a lot of people.
Yeah. But it is a commitment because it's a 12-week class, so it's 2 times a week and you meet for an hour. You got to have people that are. It's like so many things. These are volunteers that they have to be invested and want to. They have to want to do it. So.
Who's doing the class this time?
In Whitehall, it's the same 2 ladies. So it's Amanda, who is a librarian here in Whitehall, and then Nancy Lingen.
Fun.
Yeah, and they have fun.
I think I was the first one that asked to sign up because I was very interested in the strong bodies, especially when I live right there.
Yes, right.
I don't have to go outside.
Transportation is pretty good. You just get in the elevator.
Yeah, yeah.
Go,
Yep.
go.
Okay, very good. Wonderful, wonderful ideas. And thank you, Ashley, for all of that and for continuing to come up with new ideas. And that's really good. Public comments. Won't take any action, but are there, we always talk about all the scam stuff that's going on, and it's rampant. It's just unbelievable. I think I delete all my emails.
I still have a lot of telephone calls too.
I got rid of my landline. I was getting so many.
Well, I got one probably about 2 weeks ago. And my oldest grandson has certain words when he calls me. And this phone call came, and he says, "Hello, this is your oldest grandson calling." And I said, "And what is your name?" And he hung up on me.
That's how you check. I know a lot of seniors that get, yeah,
Mhm.
grandparents, yeah.
But,
Yep.
because my grandson always, my oldest grandson, when he calls, he says, "Hello, woman."
No, it wasn't, yeah.
Yep.
But I think I caught him short for that one when
I've had some, it's like some messages through Facebook Messenger, where it comes directly to you as an individual. And there was a person that I think I've been a friend with forever, and she used to be on the board of directors of the Unified Board. And it starts out by, "Hi Scott, how are you doing? And have you heard about the new opportunity?" And well, what are you talking about? And then she says, "Well, if SSI is giving out $150,000 to people." And I said that, and I responded back, "That's not how SSI works," because that's what I worked with for over 40 years basically. And I haven't heard from that particular individual, but I know it wasn't the individual; it was somebody using her name. So it's just like,
How do they know who your contacts are friends with to do that? That's
exactly.
crazy.
Yep.
But if you have, most of the seniors, they don't fall for it because they have common sense or they were in that field, so they know the truth. People are they'll find ways.
Yep.
Well, and
Why can't they get a job? Instead they have to scam people.
Sure.
Why
I
can't they
said
get
the
a
same
job
thing.
instead of scamming people and stop being lazy?
Yep.
Well, somebody unfortunately used my deceased grandmother's account about 6 months after she had passed, and reached out to me, and they're trying to get me to fall for it. And I'm like, "I'm sorry to tell you this, but I know you're a scam." "Well, no, I'm not." And I said, "Because you're my grandmother, and unfortunately, she's dead."
So say you meet your grandma that passed away, how
Yeah.
low can you be?
Exactly. And, target people of that friends group, So I called their bluff right away. I kind of played with them for a little bit, but you got to be careful, because that's what they do.
That's, people, they don't care. They're just, I know I'm kind of getting on a rant, but if, you know what, get a job, stop being lazy, I don't want to be careful because we're in a public meeting, but I could say some things, but it wouldn't be appropriate for television.
Every time somebody calls me, I say, "Stop being a scammer," and I hang up.
Lois?
Well, all of these have occurred more often since I got on Google and Facebook. And so I am really hesitant to use Facebook. I guess I'm old-fashioned that way, but I do have my landline, and the beauty of my landline is if you want to talk to me, you'll leave a message, and when they don't, well, say la vie. I got a
That's
call
life.
about probably a year ago. I know it's last winter. And when I answered, he says, "Hi, this is your friend Jim from Canada." And I says, "I don't know any Jim in Canada." And so I hung up. Well, by golly, he called back and he said, "You hung up on me."
He
And I
actually
says,
called-
"Yes, and I'm going to hang up on you
What
again."
if he keeps calling, there's a way you can block their number, because I know people, then you might have to block their number if they're that persistent. There's people that are desperate, I tell ya.
He didn't call, after the second hang up, he didn't call me
Good.
back.
I would go block, because I know on the cell phones it's probably easier to block it than the landline, but a cell phone, landline, that might be a little harder.
I know Tasha was there one time and telephone rang and it was a scammer. She grabbed my phone and she says, she doesn't have no money. She doesn't need anything. Stop scamming and get a job. And she hangs up and this one guy called back and she says, I have a job. And I said, yeah, scamming people.
He called you back. Wow.
Yep, they're pretty brazen and bold.
I
Yeah.
got a little bold about it. I told them off. I said, stop scamming people.
That's your
Stop
job,
getting
yep.
a job. Get a real
Yep.
job.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it looks like our next meeting is on Valentine's Day. Yeah, is that gonna be a problem for anybody?
No.
It's during the day,
Not
so.
for me.
Okay,
Zooming in, so.
okay. We'll miss you.
I'll be here.
Yeah.
In picture, like Jeannie and I.
Like those two wonderful people up there. And there, and there. You're all over this room, so.
Happy
We appreciate-
holidays to everybody.
Yes, to everybody.
You too.
Be safe. Be safe
for
the next
zooming
couple
in
of
today.
days. The weather doesn't look too great this afternoon, so be safe out there.
Yep, for sure.
We can send it to you.
Could entertain a motion to adjourn? Beth moved.
I'll second that.
Okay, Dora Jean has seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Thank you, everyone, and happy,
Bye.
Merry
Have a
Christmas,
great
Happy New Year.
holiday season.
Thank
Thank you.